So the experiment is same architecture, same next word objective, same recipe, just bigger. And before running it, let's do what we've done all series and write down what common sense predicts. Bigger should mean better at the same things, smoothly, with diminishing returns. That's what bigger means everywhere in engineering. A bigger web server handles more requests. It does not spontaneously learn to do your taxes. Slightly more fluent text, slightly fewer mistakes, rising cost. Let's file that prediction and run the experiment. The experiment really was run this cleanly, by the way, twice. The first version of this machine, 2018, had about 100 million knobs. 2019, a bigger one, about 1.5 billion. 2020, 175 billion, 1,000 times the original, with essentially nothing invented in between. No new mechanism, no new idea. Just the dial. And half of our prediction lands exactly. The training error falls smoothly as size grows, so smoothly that you can plot the curve from small models and forecast a big model's error before spending the money. No cliffs, no jumps, graphs any engineer would call boring. If that were the whole story, this would be the shortest episode in the series. Here's the other half. The 1,000 times model can do things the original flatly could not, and things nobody trained it for. Type into its prompt 2 examples of English sentences with their French translations, then a third English sentence, and it continues with a decent French translation. It was never trained to translate. Nothing about it changed as you typed, no knobs moved. It read the pattern, input, arrow, output, and continued it, because continuing patterns is the one thing it does. Arithmetic word problems, made-up formatting rules, tasks invented after its training ended, show 2 examples, and it picks up the game. The prompt has quietly become a place where you teach, at the moment of asking, with no training loop anywhere. Let's be careful with this, because it's the strangest beat in our whole story, and it's easy to say it wrong. Try our usual move, find the case where it breaks, and something odd happens. What breaks isn't the machine. It's our prediction. Every previous episode, a new ability demanded a new mechanism. We derived attention because the bottleneck forced it, deleted the belt because the ceiling forced it. That was the whole logic of this series. Capability follows from design. Here, capability arrived without design. Turning a quantity dial produced a difference in kind. And a series built on deriving things owes you honesty about that. We cannot derive this one. Nobody's common sense was on this grid, not the audiences and not the builders. The team that ran the experiment did not expect what came out. The snap-to-grid stamps here are 2020, a model called GPT-3, and the measurements themselves. 2 honest footnotes before anyone gets carried away. First, later work found the recipe itself had been off. Knobs and data need to grow together, and the giant models of this era had too many knobs for the text they'd read. Better balance beat raw size. The dial is at least 2 dials. Second, whether abilities truly appear suddenly past a threshold or only look sudden because of how we score them, a harsh all-or-nothing grader can make a smooth climb look like a leap, is genuinely contested. Some jumps survive careful remeasurement, some dissolve into curves. Hold emergence loosely. What's not contested is the plain fact that a 1,000 times model does things its ancestor could not, and that no one designed the difference. So where does that leave our chain? With a strange new possession, a machine that can continue any text on Earth, and that is all it does. Ask it a question, and it may answer, or it may continue with 3 more questions, because online, questions often come in lists. It has no notion that you wanted something. Continuing text and helping a person are different objectives that merely overlap. And when we reach for our usual fix, write down what being helpful means, we should recognize where we're standing. This is episode 1 again, trying to articulate something like common sense. We already know how writing it down goes. So, how do you teach an objective you can't state?